talk about the social media, you know, with cell phones, and how much does that play into this deposition?
Or litigation in general. Interesting, cell phones. There was a couple of cases recently came down where if you are working and you're out in your car and you are calling somebody in your car, business related, are you acting within the scope of your employment so that your employer is vicariously liable? Under New York, if you're acting, an employer is vicariously liable for the negligent acts of their employee when the employee is engaging in the course of the business. So there was an interesting case that related somebody, you could be out on a Saturday in your car and you're calling back Mr. Klein, whomever, or Mr. Customer, and you're in an accident, probably for no other reason than maybe you were on your cell phone when you shouldn't have been. Does this bring in liability for the employer? So there's some cases that suggest it does, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more about it. It's certainly unsettled law at this point.
So rule number one: don't text.
Don't text. I see it. I'm the village justice in Plandome, and you wouldn't believe all the cases that come in, texting and driving. In fact, I believe they just passed a new law in New York that makes it a primary offense to be texting and driving, such that a police officer can pull over a driver that they see is texting and driving. And I think before that it was only a secondary offense, meaning you'd have to make a stop for something else, stop sign, red light, or whatever, speeding, and then you could ticket for, oh, by the way, you're on your cell phone. So it's an indicator that yes, it's an increasingly becoming a problem, and therefore we're seeing it in these lawsuits and cases. Another aspect it's coming out with, I think, I remember reading it's not law yet, but there's some talk about law in the city which would ban pedestrians from crossing the street using a cell phone. And you only have to drive into New York to just see the hordes of people that are walking across the street completely clueless as to what's going around them because they're on their cell phone or they're looking down at a message. So the world is changing.